In the world of crypto finance, everything moves at light speed. So what happens when these 21st century assets are forced to rely on, well, 20th century financial plumbing? It creates a massive problem and a really fascinating solution. Today, we're diving into the rise of instant settlements. And this question, right here, it gets to the absolute heart of the issue. The crypto market never sleeps. It's 24/7 all over the globe. But for the longest time, the bridges connecting it to traditional money, the fiat on-ramps and off-ramps, they were just slow and clunky. So let's dig into why this fundamental disconnect was such a huge, huge problem. And this wasn't just some small hiccup either. We're talking about a massive billion-dollar bottleneck. This wasn't just an inconvenience, it was a fundamental barrier that was really preventing the big institutions from fully jumping into the crypto space. I mean, it was a complete clash of two different worlds. On one hand, you've got the crypto market, always on, global, and moving in seconds. But it was plugged into a traditional banking system that pretty much works 9 to 5, is focused regionally, and can take days to settle a simple transaction. And that mismatch, well, it created some serious friction. It was kind of like trying to run a supercomputer on an old dial-up modem. The potential for incredible speed is there, but the fiat settlement infrastructure it had to rely on was just sluggish, inflexible, and simply not built for a 24/7 market. So for an institutional trading firm, this created all these daily pain points. I mean, imagine you need to move millions of dollars on a Saturday. But nope, the banks are closed. Those sluggish speeds meant your capital was just tied up in transit instead of being put to work. This wasn't just frustrating, it created massive risks and made it nearly impossible to scale up. And this wasn't some big secret people were whispering about. Industry leaders like Mary Pennington over at BCB Group, they saw this gap crystal clear. They recognized that profound difference between crypto speed and the slowness of traditional fiat. And understanding the problem that clearly, well, that's what paves the way for a solution. All right, so with the problem clearly identified, the industry moved to build a dedicated solution. This led to the arrival of what you could basically call instant money for the institutional crypto world. And that solution was Blink, the BCB Liquidity Interchange Network Consortium. Now, this wasn't just a slightly faster payment system. No, this was a purpose-built network designed from the ground up to solve the specific challenges we just looked at, all tailored for those big institutional crypto firms. And the scale of adoption was just staggering. I mean, the network has already processed over $250 billion in transactions. It's connecting over 400 institutional clients, which has created this web of almost 80,000 potential settlement connections. Now, let's be clear, this wasn't some small-scale fix. This was the creation of a massive new piece of financial infrastructure. And here's the magic of it all. Despite the massive scale and all the complexity humming away in the background, the user experience is incredibly simple. A user just initiates a transfer, the network instantly connects them to the other party, and boom, the funds settle in real time. Just like that. And that really was the whole philosophy behind the design. All the complexity, the different banking partners, the regional connections, all the compliance rules, that's all handled behind the scenes. For the user, the experience is totally seamless. The goal was always to make a really powerful tool feel simple and intuitive. Okay, so we know what it is and we know how it works. But what's the actual impact? I mean, how does a system like this truly change the game for the institutions that rely on it every single day? Well, you don't have to take my word for it. We can hear it directly from the users. Jonathan Milks, the CEO of Stillman Digital, he points to new efficiencies and scalability. See, it's not just about moving money faster. It's about enabling the business itself to grow in ways that were literally impossible before. And his experience is echoed all across the network. Clients consistently report these same core benefits. Operational risks just plummets because you're not waiting around for funds to clear. Treasury management and capital efficiency get a huge boost because your money is actually working for you, not just sitting in transit. And fundamentally, it provides the speed and reliability you need to serve a global professional market. So this brings us to the bigger picture, because this is about so much more than just a faster payment system. This is really about building the foundational plumbing for a much more robust and resilient financial system for all digital assets. The difference becomes just night and day when you compare the new way with a traditional system like CHAPS, which is a UK-based bank-to-bank transfer system. You go from being stuck with office hours to operating 24/7, 365. You go from settlement times of hours or even days to instant. It's a complete paradigm shift, moving from slow, batch-based processing to a continuous, real-time flow of value. And here's why this matters so much, especially in the world of crypto. In these volatile markets, being able to move your fiat liquidity instantly isn't just a nice-to-have feature. It is an absolutely critical tool for managing risk and for ensuring your operations are resilient when things get turbulent. And that, right there, is the ultimate goal. As Mary Pennington puts it, it's all about giving clients confidence and continuity. They don't have to worry about the complex machinery working behind the scenes. They can just trust that the system is resilient and that it's going to be there for them when they need it the most. So, this all brings us to a final thought. The rise of instant settlements in crypto is this powerful example of a new industry basically forcing an old one to reinvent itself. And it really makes you wonder, now that finance can literally move at the speed of information, what other legacy systems are just sitting there waiting for their own transformation? Thanks for joining me.